So this is your test 1A review. Your test is going to be during next class. And so we're going to go through all the solving stuff we've been working on. And so you have a blank copy of this review. You also have a review key. So what I would do is try this review on your own. And then once you get comfortable with it, then you can come back. When you finish the review, you can come back and check your work on the video. If you get stuck on one of them, then you can come watch the video again, but I would try it on my own first. Okay, here we go. So the first one, you're going to have to be able to simplify the following expression. So remember, this is simplifying. This is just combining like terms and distributive property. You don't have to solve anything because there's no equal sign on this one. And so what can I put together? Well, I have 23x and I have 11x. Those can go together. So I'm going to write down the -9. And then 23x's and 11x's would give me 34x's. And now I can't put these together, so I'm done. That's as simple as I can get it. All right, the next one, we're going to solve the equation. We have an equal sign. Remember, an equal sign is putting together two expressions. And so I just need to solve it. So I'm going to draw my line down the middle of the equal sign. So I see my two sides. This is a one-step equation. Why is x not by itself? Well, because we have a positive 27. What's the opposite of a positive 27? Is we would subtract 27. What you do to one side, you have to do to the other. And so now we get x is equal to, and 13 minus 27 is a -14. -14. And so then that would be my final answer. Once I get that x by itself, I'm done, right? Okay. Then we have a one or two step, looks like a one-step word problem. So remember, when you tackle these word problems, the strategy is to read the problem first, then go back and translate the symbols, then set it up, and then solve it or do whatever they want you to do with it. And so I'm going to read it first. The 11 less than a number is 42. They want me to write and solve the equation to determine that number. So here we go. So 11, well, that's just 11. Less than a number. Remember, we put that minus sign in front of that 11 because it's going to be 11 less than whatever the number is. We don't know what the number is, so I'm going to do x is equals 42. So now let's set it up to make it look more mathy. And so we're going to do x minus 11 is equal to 42. Now we need to solve it. So that's the first thing. It says write the equation and then solve the equation. So I wrote the equation. Now I'll solve it. So I'm going to add 11 to both sides. Those cancel. Bring down your x. And we get 53. All right. So if we take 53, which is our number, and we subtract 11, we get 42. So we know that's right. Okay, the next one is a distributive property simplifying. Remember, when it says simplifying, you're not solving. You're just combining like terms and distributive property. So anytime I see this, I'm going to distribute. So remember, draw your arrows to keep yourself straight so you don't miss them. So we're going to have -3 times h is -3h. A negative times a negative is a positive. That's the most common mistake on the test. And then 3 times 2 is 6. And now bring down this plus 16. I can put constants together. Those are both numbers. We can put them together. So we get -3h plus 22. And so that is as simple as I can get it because h's and numbers cannot go together, right? Not like terms. All right, now it's a two-step equation. And so remember, it's an equation. You have an equal sign. You draw your line down the middle so you can see both sides. Now over here, why is this x not by itself? Well, we're multiplying by 3, and we're adding 15. Remember, we do our best friend, other friend thing. We're not going to kick our best friend out. We're going to get rid of the other friend. All right, so we're going to add or subtract first, and then multiply, divide. So in this case, I have plus 15, so the opposite would be minus 15. Now I have 3x equals 36 minus 15 is 21. And then remember, the last thing we do is divide. And so we get x is equal to 7. Okay, remember, you can always plug this back in and check. 3 times 7 is 21. 21 plus 15 is 36. So we know we got it right. All right, here's another simplify. It will tell you to simplify, or it will tell you to solve. Remember, when you simplify, you're just combining like terms or distributive property. So in this case, I've got distributive property here. You got to be careful with negatives. I'm going to be testing you on these negatives during this test. So you got to make sure you're keeping that straight. Use your calculator if you need to. All right, so now I'm going to write down my 42 because I'm not messing with him yet. Now, this is not 2 times. This is a negative 2 times. So negative 2 times 7d is negative 14d. And negative 2 times negative 4, watch those negatives, is a positive 8. Now, when I'm going to put stuff together here, I've got this 42, I've got this 8. And so I'm going to bring down that negative 14d, can't do anything with him. And then I can put 42 and positive 8 together to get 50. Okay, remember, watch out. When we did that error analysis a couple lessons ago, you got to watch out for your errors. Make sure you're not making them. Double check. Okay, now we have a literal equation. This one's telling me to solve the equation, but it wants me to solve for y. Because look, we got x, y, in case. So when you say solve for y, they want you to get the y by itself. So remember that you can highlight or circle or box in this so you don't move it. And now we're going to get rid of the 5x first. So I'm going to subtract 5x. Now bring down your 6y. And k and 5x, I can't put those together. Those are not like terms. So I just write it down. K minus 5x. And then y is still not by itself. Remember, we're trying to get it by itself. So this is multiply. Opposite would be to divide. Remember, I like to do it this way and divide everything. I need a little bit more room here. So on this side, I've got y equals, and then I've got k over 6. Well, there's a 1 there. So that's 1 over 6k. And I got a minus, and that's 5 over 6 x. You can leave it like that. That's as far as you need to take it. Okay? It says solve for y. We got y by itself. We're done there. All right, now this one says to solve the equation. And so it's just a 2-step equation. So I'm going to add 2. I'm going to get 3x is equal to 27. I'm going to divide by 3 on both sides. You get x equals 9. All right. Still moving along. We're going to get through this. Remember, if I go too fast, you can always pause this. So this, what I would do is maybe even pause it, work this problem, then come back and watch how I did it. You can try to see if you're making a mistake where they are, so you don't make those on the test, or you can check yourself. So this is solving, right? Solving the equation. So draw my line. I'm going to add 5 to both sides. I'm doing the opposite operation, and I get t is equal to 16. This one, draw your line. We're solving. So I'm going to divide by negative 9. I'm going to get d is equal to, what's 27 divided by negative 9? That's negative 3. A lot of the times I see errors, it's because people did not do the simple math right. If you're having that problem, use that calculator. Okay, this one we're going to solve the equation. I'm going to divide by 144. Now this one, problems like this were a lot of people missed this last year because they thought this equaled 12. Because 12 times 12 is 144. But that's not what this says. The big number's on the bottom. So this is going to be 1 over 12. Right? That's the funny thing about fractions. When you have a small number over a large number, it's going to reduce and be the same. You're going to have a small number over a large number. Okay, so watch that. Be careful with that. All right, next one, solve the equation. Draw your line. I'm going to get rid of the other friend first, right? Get rid of the add or subtract first. Now I have 35 equals negative 5t. Divide by negative 5. And we're going to get t is equal to a negative 7. Okay, number 13, almost done. Number 13, you're going to distribute the 4. Here's my line. So I'm going to get 4x. 4 times negative 3 is negative 12 equal 2x minus 2. Now remember, a lot of people, they'll do the 4x, and then they just write down negative 3. You've got to multiply that 4, distribute it to both. Now we got variables on both sides. Remember, I'm going to put this out to the side here so you remember. The first thing you always do is distribute a property. That's always the first thing you do. The second thing you do is combine like terms. Okay, so you got to combine terms. And then the third thing you're going to do is you're going to do variables on both sides if you have it. And then finally, the fourth thing you do is you're going to solve either a 1 or the 2-step problem. So these are the 4 steps in order you always do. So I see distributed property, I do that first. Now look on this side, I can't combine anything. I look on this side, I can't combine anything. So I did that step and that step. Now, do I have variables on both sides? Yes. And remember, if you move the smaller one most of the time, it's going to make it easier for you so you don't have negatives. So 4x minus 2x is 2x. Bring down minus 12. Bring down negative 2. Now we got a two-step equation, right? So we're just going to solve it. So I'm going to add 12. Running out of room here. So I'm going to move it up here. And so now I have 2x equals negative 2 plus 12 is 10. Divide by 2. X is 5. Distributive property, check. Can't combine like terms, check. Variables on both sides, check. Solve, check. Next one, same thing, we're going to solve the equation. Do I have distributive property? I do. So draw your line, distribute this, and watch out for the negatives. Negative 3 times 4 is negative 12. Negative times the negative is a positive. 3 times 6 is 18z equals 42. Now, can I combine like terms? Well, on this side, no. This side, no. Do I have variables on both sides? Well, I got a variable here, no variable here. Check. So I just need to solve. When you're solving, you always get rid of the number first. So I'm going to add 12. Now we have 18z equals 54. And then you divide last. Always divide last. So now I have z is equal to 54 divided by 18 is, I believe, 3. And so z equals 3. And the last problem, draw your line down the middle. It's asking you to solve. And so you're going to multiply that 4 in, distribute. We're going to have 23 plus 4g minus 32 equals 7. So I distribute a property. Can I combine like terms? Well, on this side, yes. I have a 23 and a negative 32. So bring your 4g down because he's by himself. And now 23 minus 32 is going to be a negative 9. And then bring down your 7. Combine like terms is done. Can I do variables on both sides? Well, no. I only have it on this side. So that one's done. So now we just solve. Add or subtract first. You get 4g equals 16. Divide by 4. You get g is equal to 4. And that's the end. Okay, so if you can work all those problems like that, you won't have any trouble on the test. I would make sure you feel comfortable, confident with all the steps. And when you take the test, you'll have 60 minutes to take the test. The test is only 15 questions. It's only designed to take between 35 to 40 minutes max, but I'm going to give you 60 minutes to take it. You have to show all of your steps, and you'll have to submit your work. So as you're taking that test, just do your very best, and then just follow through on Canvas, and then at the end you'll submit your work to it. Okay, so the next class you'll take your test. Remember that you can come to tutorials anytime you need it, from 4 to 4:30 in the afternoon, and I'll be glad to help you. All right, good luck, guys. Bye.